And Nicole, I mean, you're certainly on the phones are at one time were new technology to campaigns, and we fully embraced it. And you sort of have a foot in both worlds with texting and online and phones. What do you think is the challenge for some campaigns and candidates and consultants trying to really embrace this idea that digital campaigning is campaigning?
Good question. I think Kristen really was right that campaigns were not going to adapt until their hand was absolutely forced. And so, that became more apparent as as February ended and March started. I think that, probably one of the last quote unquote normal primaries was Texas in March, and then after that they started getting canceled, postponed, etc. And so so we really found that the folks who were willing to accept what was happening really were the ones that were more successful. The ones that continued to deny that this was going to be a different kind of campaign did not fare well. And that included, we saw a lot of folks who, as an example, had kind of spurned telephone town halls as something that was old school and outdated. And so, so we were finding people who were all of a sudden embracing something like that again. And that's the kind of thing. We actually had some folks who would simultaneously do a telephone town hall and broadcast it on Facebook Live while they were doing the telephone town hall. And that was an exceptionally effective strategy because you could reach people on a dial out audience, your seniors who still have landlines and still answer them, people who wanted to dial in by sending them a text message, and then people who are going to be on Facebook Live where you can say, look, if you want to ask a question, here's the number, dial in and ask me the question that way. And so we saw people who were combining technologies in ways that I thought were really interesting and creative, and those were the ones that saw the most success, not the ones who wound up being deniers on what was happening.